Hi, it's Wayne O'Keefe, and I've just arrived to fish under the Westgate Bridge this morning. As you can see, the water behind me on the Yarra River, it's like a lake. It's quite amazing. This is the low end of the tide. The tide's still going out now and probably will for about another half hour or so. And I've got here just on daybreak so that one, I can actually see what I'm doing, but I want to get an early start, even though the tide's going out, to get my burley in so that I can fish the incoming tide. And if I get the burley in place, I'll have the fish there arriving for when they really start to feed as that tide comes in. So also a great chance when you get down to a place like this just to have a look around and see when the tide is out just what some of the structure is like in the water. And there's plenty of rocks, and I know a lot of people get snagged down here. So I also know that I'm probably going to lose a little bit of gear, but it's worth it for the fish that you can catch. So we'll see how we can go today.
Well, I've been getting quite a few bites, and then I just finally caught the fish that have been taking my bait, this little tiny pinky. Oh goodness me. And it is surprising how hard they can fight. I mean, the big ones are just sensational. Anyway, this is just another small fish, but I'm going to have to cut the line on that. He swallowed the hook. I'll quickly cut that and put him back in. But anyway, there are fish about this morning. Cute.
I've just hooked into another fish, and it's in close, but there's so many rocks around, it's very hard to get them in without having problems. But anyway, I'll just see what I got here. Something small. All right, so it's a little pinky. They're biting well with the burley coming in, and I'll keep going with this and trying to improve on the size, but they're certainly hitting quite hard. But as I say, they're wrapping themselves around rocks. I've already had to break off once, so it's a bit of a challenge, but if the fish are coming, I'm pretty happy about that. Well, I got to say, I feel pretty darn small compared to what's approaching here. Have a look at this. This is one of those big cargo ships, container ship, and it's going to suck all the water away as it moves in front of us here. What it will do is it will draw up the water in front of it, pull that away from the shoreline, and then of course as the ship gets past, the water comes back and surges in here. So I've got gumboots on today for this very reason. I'm right on the sand, and what I want to avoid is getting wet, of course, and this is a time when you don't expect it and the water comes surging back. So just trying to avoid a bath, another bath at least. Well, I've cast in. I'm getting pretty positive bites here, and I'm sure that they're those small pinkies again because of the way they're hitting. I've just got to see if I can actually strike into them. So they're not committing suicide today. They are needing to be hooked. But the good thing is I've got them round, and I'm at the bottom of the tide. So what I'm hoping is I get enough burley in the area to hold them there so they don't move off before they come back to feed. I keep them in the area, and even at the worst part of the day at the bottom of the tide, I've still got activity happening. Otherwise I have to wait for them to want to feed again as the tide moves in. So the burley is going to help me here, and I can feel just heavy taps all the time, but they're so fast I can't strike into them. I just have to hold here until I actually feel that I can make contact. And of course, in the meantime, if this all stops, it might mean that they've actually eventually stripped off the bait. But that's just the way you've got to fish. Okay, look, I've just caught this one. I thought I was filming at the time. Unfortunately, I wasn't. Anyway, that was quite a fight. Caught that on prawn, and took me around the rocks. A bit of stumbling, fell over once, luckily only once. But the burley is actually bringing these things in, so very happy about that. But I am going to return it. Sorry everyone, this is catch and release for me. this one can grow up to be a bigger kid and do some breeding. Okay, so all pretty good. Now, look, if you fish here and you want to get those fish, you do have to go down in line size. I know that potentially you can lose a lot more gear when your line is lighter, because you're trying to pull it through the rocks. I've had to break off a couple of times, but the difference it makes actually hooking fish because of your bait looking natural with lighter line is well worth it, because then you can get fish like that and bigger. Obviously, if you get a really big fish, you're sunk. But having said that, look, the chances of getting enormous fish here, they do occur, but it's slight, so it's better to go lighter line. The other thing is that as you will get hooked up and snags. One of the things to do is, I see a lot of people pulling in hard to try and break the line. One thing to do is do not bend the hook, your rod up and get a big curve in it to try and break off, because graphite rods occasionally break because they're brittle. Okay, if you've got a fiberglass rod. But look, the other thing is that it puts a lot of stress on your reel, and if you've got smaller reels like this 3000 model here, you don't want to be pulling the line tight in, gritting it into the actual reel itself. It doesn't do that any good. So that the easiest thing to do is, when you're pulling to get a snag out, once you know that you have to get it out, keep your rod straight, pointed towards the snag itself, so you're not putting tension on the rod, and then get something like a stick, wrap it around your line 3, 4, 5 times so that it can take all the tension, and keep a bit of slack line to your reel. That way you can walk backwards, all the tension now is on that stick. The line will break without putting any tension on your rod or your reel. So it just helps them last a bit longer. Well, I've got another one. I'd say it's another small one, so I'll just get this in and show you. Yep, yeah, there seems to be plenty of these around, attracted by the belly, of course. I'll keep going. They're a bit of fun though, but put it straight back so it lives to fight another day. Okay, let's see if I can get something out of this cast. And another one, and it'll be another small one, I'm sure, but anyway, the action's on. Wow. Okay. It wasn't a pinky, but it was a little flathead. Good to see, hey? Well, gee, my bite hard burley is working even better than I thought it would. There's heaps happening here. Yep, another little one, and right on the drop too. I'll just get it in for you. Yeah, the thing is, I stepped it up to bigger hooks, but these fish seem to be swallowing everything, including most of my bait. Anyway, get this one back and keep going. Yeah, into another one. Yeah, another small one. Wow, that's interesting. Increase the size of the hook, decrease the size of the fish. Who would have thought? Little brim. Now, I'm into another one. This is a little bit better than what I've been catching. Well, it felt bigger, but what had happened is it had some weed wrapped around it, which made it feel a lot bigger. I got a bit excited there for a minute. Anyway, I'll put this guy back, but boy, do they just keep coming. Okay, yes, yet another one. Trying to steal my bait, another little one, and he's taking me into, I can feel him taking me into the rocks and everything. I'll get him in. There you go. Okay, second little flathead for the day. Gee, it's good to see these fish about. A little wriggler, put it back. Now have a look at the mullet over a handful of burley that I have just thrown in. Wow, there are hundreds, and they go downstream where it was floating. So ones downstream are coming up and then feeding on that. Now look at all of the powder, the cloud that they've put into the water. As I go over, see them. There is a lot in there. So that's the power of burley and what it will do to bring those fish in close. So you can see that there's a lot of, there's huge numbers in there. So, you know, putting the burley in is worth it because it will bring those fish in. Okay, well, I just got to get another one. So there does seem to be an endless supply of these things. This one's gut hooked, so I will cut the line. But boy, have they been active today. Well, I've hooked into yet another one, and these things are like peas in a pod. I'll get this one in, just show you. Wow. It's quite amazing. They're all the same, but at least it's been exciting. Well, it's been a great couple of hours fishing. I've absolutely had a ball, but I've run out of bait. Okay, they've taken everything, and yeah, so I wish I could keep going, but I mean I had a bit with me, but obviously there's a lot of fish here brought in by that burley, and that's made all the difference. So look, if you're interested in the burley that I've got, bite hard burley, or beginners, if you would like to learn how to fish like this, to get those fish in, to learn their techniques, the baits, how to cast to the right spot, how to work out where to fish, how to set up so you catch fish, go to my website, howtofish.com.au.